It's not necessarily a bad thing to wear your influences on your sleeve. Hi, I'm Jordan the Nerd of Gold, and I've seen a lot of people talk about Supergirl, more recently the He-Man film, both feeling like they're inspired by the Guardians of the Galaxy film. And I remember in the early 2000s that there were a lot of movies that felt like they were really inspired by and trying to capture the spirit and tone of The Matrix. So it's not a new phenomenon by any means, and I'm sure there's plenty of other films you can point to with a lot of movies that kind of try to do the same thing that that movie did and throughout movie history. Which is to say that it's okay to want to be a hit movie by following the structure, the tone, the color, and all that another film had a lot of success with. Hollywood likes to repeat things because fundamentally they are a business. But at the same time, as an artist, it's not necessarily a bad thing to wear your influences on your sleeve. You want your audience to know what is inspiring them so that way they can get the idea, not necessarily feel overwhelmed by world building on that front. And I know some people might say that's like a low bar for art, but like, I mean, all art is inspired by previous art. All artists are building on top of what other artists have done. They don't have these techniques until someone does it. There are no tropes until someone does it and does a little twist on it, or does it in a new way, or does it in a way that just resonates with audiences. All art is building on top of itself to make new things. Sometimes these steps are lateral. They aren't really adding anything new to the culture in a sense. And every once in a while you have something that breaks through and gives us something like new, or at least the feeling of newness. And that's what films like The Matrix and the Guardians of the Galaxy have done in their respective little corners of the sci-fi and how they inspire other filmmakers. Like, I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing. It's more about the execution of it. You can be bad and also rip off of another film. That's happened plenty of times. But you can also be really good and still be very clearly inspired by another film. There's nothing wrong with that.